Hey, I'm Jeff, Not Dead Yet Adventures is my channel, and I'm here to talk about the Philly in the Philippines failure. The 215 hot seat. Ooh, the hot seat. So, the hot seat is a channel that Brian Kerber from Philly in the Philippines created with the sole intention of putting people on public trial. He wants to put you in the hot seat and talk shit about you face to face. He wants you to come in and let him talk shit about you and confront you. Uh, the first one was a complete and utter failure. So in Brian's live stream on Philly in the Philippines, I've got my laptop here to make sure I get these details correct. He did a live stream on January 28th, 2026. Hump Day. You remember that thing from like grade school, right? Um, all things Philippine and anything else. Open chat. Open chat. So in this live stream, Philly did on Philly in the Philippines on January 28, 2026, he talks specifically right about the 9:49 minute mark. He starts talking about it, 9:50. He's going to start a new channel, and he alludes to it, but he doesn't say it directly, that it's an effort to circumvent the YouTube policies and procedures and standards. And in the first video he did on the 215 hot seat, he did exactly that. He played a video. Well, first, he played the video on his channel, on Philly in the Philippines channel, on his primary channel, his money making channel. He played the video that was hosted by Street Freak on a Google server. And Street Freak subsequently lost his channel because he kept hosting and posting material that he didn't have permission to use, and he was using it in a defamatory manner. And he was very selective in his editing. He didn't give you you know, he didn't give you the origin of it. He just said, "Hey, look at this. I saved this like 2 years ago, and let me clip it. Let me give you the worst of the worst." Right? I'm not going to do that. I'm telling you where to go, and as long as Philly doesn't get scared and take down this, as long as he's not trying to hide anything and doesn't take down this, live stream he did on the 28th of January 2026 on Philly in the Philippines, the live stream at about 10 minutes, he explains why he's creating this Philly in the Hot Seat channel, or 215 Hot Seat channel, right? So the first video from the Hot Seat channel was him going after regular guy. The second, okay, a little edit here on replay. I realize I skipped over this. I don't have a script or cue cards or anything. So sometimes in the monologue, you skip over things. In this, I skipped over the video, the timeline of the video. And it's very important to understand the timeline of the video because it's very, very telling, right? So the video was hosted on a Google server by Street Freak. Street Freak played it on his channel. It got stricken by regular guy. Street Freak then, trying to do whatever, posted the strike that regular guy gave him, and then more strikes came. The channel came down. Brian Kerber played the video on his channel, and it got a strike and came down. According to Brian, he was very upset with regular guy for giving him a strike for when. Well, I'll get into that in another video. That whole strike bullshit with Philly in the Philippines. But Brian at Philly in the Philippines then talked about creating the channel, then hosted, created the channel. His first video, he replayed that material that had already been stricken on his primary money-making channel. So he created the channel solely so he could bully, dox, intimidate people, right? Put people on public trial. And that's all Brian is trying to do with that channel. And that channel's since been scrubbed. But the timeline of that video is important because it shows clear knowledge that it was not okay, it was not acceptable by YouTube standards, and he did it anyway. He did it with the intention of circumventing YouTube policies and procedures. Then he took the video down immediately after it played live. He edited the video and put up an edited version of the video without the strikeable material. And now all that material is down. So that's the timeline. That's what happened. And again, it's all documented. There you go. The second person he put in the hot seat, putting you in the hot seat, was Ace Bachelor Cool, the number 20 million, number one, the number 10, I don't know, the number guy in Angeles City, the infamous whiteboard, right? And he put Ace in the hot seat. And this was like a total failure of a live stream. It was the funniest shit because I was sitting there like probably half of the 35 people that were there, 40 people that were there, you know, half of us just showed up to record it. Like we did the first one, the one he took down, the one he edited and then reposted and then took down because he's scared of it. Or, when he made all these comments about how regular guy took down videos because he was afraid or trying to hide things, how regular guy struck videos because he was afraid or trying to hide things. But Philly is just deleting stuff left and right, left and right. Unfortunately, I've been on his channel quite a bit and stuff is just disappearing. Um, like the 215 Hot Seat, the whole channel's been scrubbed. It's kind of funny. But the second video was about Ace, Bachelor Cool. And Ace, if you need a copy, let me know. But he said all these defamatory things about Ace, and then his response is, well, you can come on here and defend yourself. You can come on and defend yourself. So this is MO, modus operandi, or whatever. This is Philly, right? He likes to talk a bunch of bullshit that isn't true, may be true, might be true, could be true, but he wants you to come on his channel to defend it. I saw him do this with Tim K. I saw him do this with this. He tried to do it with me. Well, you and I can discuss it on my channel. I'm like, no, I'll discuss it on any other channel than yours. And he wouldn't have any of that, right? No, it has to be on my channel. I'm only going on my channel. I'm not promoting those other channels. And it's because he wants control. He wants control to edit it. He wants control to release it. He wants control to clip it. And, cool, right? Cool. But the things he said about Ace, man, I don't know that I would say that about a grown man on the internet and stand behind his, if I were Philly, I would be sending Ace a very public apology right now, because if you can't substantiate that rumor, one has to assume you just made it up. If you can't source that rumor, one has to assume that Brian Kerber just made it up because he thought it would be cool, it would get likes and subscribes, but it was very insulting and defamatory. It just cracks me up. So this 215 Hot Seat channel is a total failure. And here's the funny part about it, right? Is, again, he created it solely to flame people. He created it solely to bully people, solely to, just go after people. And I think maybe another reason he took down the video from Ace is because he retold a story that I regurgitate all the time. And granted, probably didn't have the recording of when he told it the first time to reference himself, so he was refreshed. But like whenever I retell the story, I go hit play on the recording and I listen to it so my details are fresh, right? And I'm just telling you what Philly told you. I'm telling you about how Philly in the Philippines broke the barrier of shit talking and, talking trash and just, it's all fun and games until you try and get some locals to beat up an expat and put him in the hospital or jail. Because that's the only option Ace really had when Philly tried to get some locals to go fight him on the street, is he was either going to go to the hospital or go to jail or do both. Philly was just gonna go home and probably laugh or cry or I don't know, but I don't think Philly even understood the long-term ramifications, because if you do that to any grown man, when they get out of jail or get out of the hospital, they're coming back after you. They're not going after the locals that you manipulated in the street. They're coming back after you. And I think that's the danger Brian Kerber doesn't understand, is all these actions he's taking in the real world, people are going to come back after him. And he should be blessed if they're only coming after him the way I am, which is publicly and through legal means, right? Because some people aren't that measured, reserved, calm, collected. Some people are like his viewers who want to make threats online. You better not come to the Philippines. You better this, you better that. Some people aren't measured, reserved, calm, collected. They just want to fly off the handle. I would have punched him in the face. One of his own friends said that on Philly's channel. And so what I'm talking about is if you go to Philly's live streams again, it's been a hell. I never understood this. It doesn't make any sense when I read it, so I have a hard time reading it. It's been a hell crazy week. I had a lot to say live April 28th, 2024. So with this one, it's been a hell crazy week. I have a lot to say live April 28th, 2024. This is where Philly in the Philippines, Brian Kerber, not only admits to trying to instigate violence between locals and Ace Bachelor Cool in the street, but he rejoices, he celebrates, he puts it out there with some sort of bravado, like he's the big macho, strong, tough bully guy. He's out there bragging about it. He's bragging about it to Mike OPJ, and Mike OPJ is like, "Oh, that's good of you. Good job, Brian." Mike OPJ, who doesn't condone violence, is plenty okay with Brian trying to instigate violence between locals and an expat, trying to put locals in harm's way, trying to put an expat in harm's way over what? Some stuff said on the internet? If Brian had any courage or, you know, the thing is, right, if it's pretty well known that if you're two expats in the Philippines fighting, the police are, they don't want to deal with it, right? They don't want to deal with it. And that's pretty true in any country I've been in. If you guys are from the same country, you know, I haven't been involved in any of this myself. I tend to avoid violence. You know, after decades in the military as a reservist, as a weekend guy, I tend to avoid violence at all costs, right? Seen too many people hurt over stupid things. Um, Lost too many friends to stupid fights. And, you know, violence doesn't serve any answers here. You know, people hardly ever learn lessons through violence. Sometimes they do, but the reality is violence is rarely the answer. But, you know, Brian seems to think it's okay to try and gin up these local guys to go fight Ace, and he thinks that's the answer, and he thinks he's the tough guy for doing that. And kudos to Ace for, you know, just E&E out of there, right? Escape and evade. Kudos to Ace, right? Smart call. Because, you know, what are you going to gain? You know, even if you do, you know, beat up the 4 or 5 or however many guys, you know, Philly's trying to get at you, you know, you're still going to end up at jail. You're still going to end up with this legal hassle, right? And Brian is still going to sit there like the, you know, you remember that meme that went around, you know, play chess with a chick or with a pigeon. He's going to walk around, just knock over random pieces, poop on the board, and keep strutting like he won the game. That's kind of how Brian is in this situation, right? But, you know, in this live stream with Brian on Philly in the Philippines, it's been a hell crazy week. I have a lot to say. Live show 28 April 2024. Go back and give it a watch. It's 4,780 views as I'm making this video. So let's pump those numbers up. Let's get it over 5.5. Can we hit 5.5? I know we can hit 5. That's easy, right? We can hit 5, but let's pump it up to 5.5. Can we do that? Go watch it. And, you know, just remember, he's bragging about this. He's bragging about intentionally breaking the law. He's bragging about causing a scene in public, which in the Philippines is, as I understand it, he's the legal expert. I'm not. But he has explained to me through his YouTube channel many times that it's against the law to create a scene on the streets in the Philippines, create a disturbance, right? Isn't that what they were all crying about Tim K doing when Tim pushed Mogman over some dirty clothes in the laundromat? He created a scene. He's got to go to jail. Well, here you have Brian, you know, not just admitting to it, not just like saying, yeah, it happened. You have Brian bragging about it, like he's the strong guy. So is that why he took down the second video from 215 Hot Seat? I don't know. But why is 215 Hot Seat just scrubbed now? Did he finally put it together after watching my video that when you make a hate channel and you play material that is already been copyright stricken on your primary channel and you replay it on the channel you just created, YouTube is smart enough to put those two together and go, wait, you're intentionally trying to circumvent our policies and procedures? I don't know. I don't know if Brian's smart enough to even put that together after I explain it in such simple terms. But if you think that didn't happen, I got the receipts. I got the recording. And I'd venture to guess half the people that were there on his first video were there just to record it. And probably the same on the second. Because Philly has gone after so many people. I put up those 3 videos so far. This will be video number 4. And I can't tell you how many people have emailed me in the background, how many people have dropped messages. Like, I didn't know he went after Rike. I didn't know he went after Philo. This other guy, says that in the comments that he and Philly almost got in a fight on Walking Street. He lays it out in the comments. You can go look through the comments and find it, listen to his explanation. But, who besides Mike at Our Philippine Journey has Philly not gone after or fought with in the Philippines? I mean, sure, he's got his sycophant friends in America or somewhere, or Street Freak. Pretty sure Street Freak's in San Diego or maybe LA. I'll get more information on that later. But, he's got these people outside who are all, fans. But when it comes to the Philippines, only him and Mike are same, right? Only him and Mike at OPJ are same, right? They're the only people that seem to get along together with each other in the Philippines. I don't know if either of them have any legitimate friends outside of that, but on YouTube, that's all they show is, so I don't know if that's a factor or not, but it was pretty funny that, Mike at OPJ, who doesn't condone violence, well, he's okay with Philly trying to instigate violence against Ace Patchwork Cool. And why? Why? All of this, let me wrap it up. All of this is only a concern to me because it demonstrates Philly is willing to not just talk shit, have fun, laugh, and joke. Philly relies on being that scoundrel who's going to try to divert the conversation, change the conversation, from what it is to what he wants it to be, which is always about you doing something wrong and him being the knight in white armor, shimmering, and I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy. I didn't film girls walking down Walking Street. I'm the good guy. I didn't put my wife in a t-shirt and have her do aerobics in front of the camera for my Jergens boys because I'm the good guy. That's just natural, like, Philippine culture, right? I don't think it's natural Philippine culture. Philippines is a pretty conservative, outwardly conservative culture. And if you're going to put your wife in a sexually exploitive video like that, that's one thing. But if you're going to do it next to a teen or preteen daughter, boy, that is sick. That is really sick. If you go to Philly's channel, look up his wife doing exercises, no bra workout. Go like 13 minutes in, and there's his wife with no bra, t-shirt or top, working out for you sickos. She's there working out for you, and the other 22,000 people that watched the video. And right next to her is a daughter. So you're going to market a video with a hypersexualized title, hypersexualized content, and then you're going to throw a underage girl in the middle of it? Man, he just doesn't get it. Just doesn't get it. But Not my problem. My problem is he's willing to engage in violence. He's willing to engage in, you know, trying to generate a mob justice or a vigilante justice situation. He's willing to promote people, to instigate, to encourage people to act on his behalf. And this is a clear demonstration, admission, and frankly, just bragging about doing that to Ace Patrick Cool. So if you're Ace, why would you ever go on his channel? He tried to put Ace in jail or in the hospital and then went online and bragged about it. And he left it up. It's still up. Why is it still up? He's not ashamed of it. He's proud of it. Think about that. That's a warning to all you who might say anything against Philly. This is a warning. Watch out. Philly will come after you too. Ooh.